Episode of What's in the Box. I haven't been doing them a lot here lately because I've had so much work going on, quite a bit actually. By now I'd say you've seen that we've got the 240 and it broke while we were drifting last weekend, so you've probably seen that by now. Well, I've got other plans for the 240, but I want to drift still too. So I bought the minimum. There's more things I should have bought, I think, but maybe this will get me through until I decide to do what I'm doing with the 240. But this is from Z1 Motorsports, and this should fix me with what broke this weekend. And it's a temporary fix. It's not everything that I should have bought. But I wanted to show a little love to Z1 Motorsports. These guys were one of the few people that had this stuff in stock. So, and it's an actual Nissan part. So they have the front plate to the VQ, or not VQ, I'm still on 350Zs. The front plate to the KA transmission, the actual shaft piece broke off. And you've probably seen a video of that by now. If not, I'll try to insert it right here somewhere. So, what I had to do was I had to order a new one. And I go ahead and tell you, this is a way more durable part. Putting my hands on this is a whole different piece. This is way more durable than what was on it. So if you ever have this happen and you want to replace it, the Z1 Motorsports, I guess it's probably a Nissan replacement part, but this thing, just handling it right here, it's 10 times the part that come off of it. That's solid. That's a whole different piece. Well, that has a gasket. Here's your gasket. And then there's a seal that has to be inserted. And I'm pretty sure the seal goes on the inside of this thing somewhere. So I need to put that seal in and the gasket, and I'm thinking that's all that goes in here. I'll have to really look, but I did have to replace this because it broke right here, clean off with this thing. I don't know if there's a clip or anything that goes inside there. I'll have to look. I didn't see anything. There is like a piece that I'm curious about that I remember now. There's like a ring, but that it didn't have a clip. It wasn't no kind of clip or nothing. But and these bolts, if you don't RTV I guess the bottom one, I think it's the bottom one, oil will leak out of that. So put your little RTV on that bottom bolt, because I guess they're notorious for leaking. Any of the, I think the CD transmissions out of the 350Zs and all that, if you ever replace any of these parts, I think that bottom bolt tends to leak on a lot of those different applications. So I think it's common practice to put a little RTV on that bottom bolt for that reason. I don't think it's a must, but I think people just do it to help themselves out from having a leak later. But this box we're sitting on is some struts or shocks for the CRV, top and bottom box. And then I've got another little box over here. It's the inner and outer tie rod. So we'll probably do a CRV suspension change out and the inner and outer tie rod change. I'll probably video that. But I'm trying to get my drift car finished, and so that's what this stuff will be. I'm going to go through it, make sure I have everything to at least be able to put that back on. I may have to get another throwout bearing, but at least I can put this on tonight. It's later in the evening. I just got back from going to a junkyard, but I've been sourcing some parts. But this is a way more durable piece. Just, you know, when you handle parts a lot, you can tell when something's more solid, more rigid, and a tougher material. This 100% is a lot stronger piece than what come off of it. 100%. I can tell just by handling it that this is a whole different piece of equipment than what that was. So this shouldn't break like that. I was worried about putting it back together and it breaking. This is not the same. All right, so I got the piece changed out. You can see that it's all greased up, a little grease on it. Never hurt when you're trying to install it. I'll clean a little off the throw-up bearing here in a second. I don't like it being on the throw-up bearing like that, but you can see the piece is a whole different color. It's definitely a cast metal versus the aluminum. Well, whichever way. Yeah, like that. So it's definitely a different. This is like the bell housing, like the cast aluminum. That's like a cast iron, the actual new one. So that's a whole different type of piece. And I put some gasket sealer on the back of it, and I put some gasket sealer on the bolts on the threads. Those things tend to leak. So we're gonna go back with it. Everything, well, it's tight now and this is kind of in the way, but everything works as it should. It's hitting right there on the side, but I've got it cleaned up. We'll try to go in with it and we'll see what we get, see if that helps, see if that fixes it. If not, there's something else wrong. But I think that'll do it. I'm pretty confident in it. But we'll go from here. So, all right, here we go. All right, so the transmission's back in it. Everything's turning. Drive shaft's spinning. Right in there somewhere. Don't seem to see any leaks on the transmission. No, actually it's quieter now than it was the first time I put the clutch in. So the wheels are turning. Everything's spinning. Not too awful loud. There's no fluid coming down from changing all that plate and stuff. It does have exhaust leak pretty bad. But all the setup, I'm thinking, all this setup's temporary for this 240, I'm thinking. I'm not 100% certain. But for now, keep me on the drift track, keep me driving. That was the fix. So, change the plate, I ended up taking a little bit bigger socket and going over the top of the inside of the throw-up bearing because it was loose. And I hit it a few times and it brought that center in, so it had to be pressed on again onto the throw-up bearing, the piece that moves with the throw-up bearing gets pressed on it. Not the arm, but the other, I forget what you even call it. But so that wouldn't just slip and move on that, where it had been beat and banged. I took that socket and I hit right the outside of that hole and it kind of bent it in, so it had to be pressed, the throw-up bearing had to be pressed back on that piece again so it wouldn't move. So I did that, put that plate on, re-gasket, resealed. I did use the new throw-up bearing that I had bought with this clutch kit. Put that clutch kit back in it. It's a lot quieter than what it was. So, all right, here we go.